Joining me now is Oklahoma Congressman Steve Russell. He's a member of the Armed Services Committee. Congressman, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Did you vote?
I did. I just came off the floor.
Yeah, I talked to one of your colleagues a few minutes ago who voted no to the continuing resolution, not to shut the government down, but to say you guys should stay here and get this done, and that a one-week extension isn't really a meaningful thing for legislators to do. How do you respond to that?
Well, I think what you'll see many times is an administrative extension, 72 hours, 7 days, things of that nature. And I think most of the members are willing to grant that little bit of extended time. But this will allow us to get to a consolidated appropriation. There'll be a great many of us that will be against a continued resolution should it not be an administrative extension.
Got it, sir. All right. You are on the Armed Services Committee. I want to ask you about North Korea. Secretary of State Tillerson has been at the United Nations Security Council today, urging members to tighten the financial noose on North Korea. Let's listen together to what he had to say.
I urge this council to act before North Korea does. We must work together to adopt a new approach and impose increased diplomatic and economic pressures on the North Korean regime.
So, Congressman, the administration is talking about more sanctions. We've had sanctions on North Korea for a very, very long time. They do almost all of their trade with China. What's the difference this time?
I think the difference you see this time is it's a collective effort. We've been very encouraged by the positive moves that we've seen with China and the things that they are doing and putting into place. North Korea's only ally is China, and at this point they've become somewhat of a liability. So the fact that we see collective effort with the United States, with China, and a great many other nations, that's what makes this different.
Well, listening to Rex Tillerson, his comments there, he made other comments to the radio saying that he'd be interested in direct talks with North Korea. But at the same time, President Trump uttered some ominous words about North Korea in an interview with Reuters. Let's listen to those now.
There's a chance that we could end up having a major conflict with North Korea. Absolutely.
So, Congressman, what do you make of this? President Trump talking about a major confrontation, Rex Tillerson talking about dialogue, then Rex Tillerson talking about sanctions. It doesn't seem orderly.
Well, look, anytime you get with foreign policy going in tandem with the defense posture, there ought to be a flurry of activity. That's the norm. War can be very expensive, so any diplomatic efforts that we have, we certainly want to pursue. That said, the fact that you saw the entire national security team briefing both the House and the Senate and our key allies, and now a move to the United Nations to inform the world, it shows the serious nature of what is happening. And the fact that you see China moving in positive directions on this issue shows just how serious it is. And Kim Jong-un, contrary to what many believe, I don't think he's crazy, but he is a dictator that's calculated. Unfortunately, dictators often miscalculate and they plunge their nations into horrific civil war with great loss of life. I think the world community is trying to avoid all of that.
Congressman, thanks for joining me. Great conversation with you.
My pleasure.